Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day, composition of Bhagat Kabir Ji in Rag Asa. The recitation first. Sut Aparadh Karat hai Jete, Janani Cheet na Rakhas Tete. Ramaiya हाँ बारिक तेरा, काहे न खंडस अवगण मेरा। राव जे अत क्रोप करे कर धाया, ता भी चीत न राखस माया। चिंत भवन मन पर्यो हमारा, नाम बिना कैसे उतरस पारा। देह बिमल मत सदा शरीरा, सहज सहज गुण रवै कबीरा। सहज सहज गुण रवै कबीरा. Interestingly, Kabir used in the signature line, he uses Kabira, an extension, which is usually the case when one is addressing a younger one or a little one. And I think Kabirji is making the point here in the Shabad that it is the son, the small one, that is constantly in error, a reference to our ego as well. So let's consider the Shabad. In the Rahau, the reflection, he says, Ramaya. It's an imploration to the all-pervasive Ram, calling him Ramaya. It's a calling out. How barik tera, I am your child. Kahena, kahena meaning why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? In other words, Kabirji is quite convinced that Ramaya will khandas avgana mera, that the Creator will overlook my transgressions, because he gives the example of a mother. Sut Aparadh Karat hai Jete, Janani Cheet na Rakhas Tete. As many times as the offspring errs, as you know, children will, the mother simply overlooks what the kid does. She does not keep an accounting of the child's follies. So here, the Sut is not only a child, but is also a reference to the ego, which is born of the self, wisdom, and the ego is in a constant state of error because it mistakes itself to be the subject, the center of the universe. You see, that's the duality that Kabirji has been talking about in the previous Shabads. That is our existential problem. We err because we mistake ourselves, we identify with objects outside, and there the trouble begins. So the lesson here also is forgiveness. So let's consider the rest of the Shabad, and then we'll come back to the idea of forgiveness. Je at krop kare kartaya tabi chitana rakhas maya. This is an extension of the first verse that we just considered, that even if great anger is displayed by the child, throwing a tantrum, for example, rushing at the mother, kartaya, even then, the mother remains undisturbed. Chitana rakhas maya. So Kabir now is concerned. He says, Chinta bhavan man pareo hamara. Chinta bhavan. Bhavan is a mansion, an edifice. He says, my mind has now become like an edifice of anxiety. Chinta bhavan man pareo hamara. That my mind is encased in this edifice of anxiety. I'm always anxious. Naam bina kaise utra sapara. How will I overcome this? And the hint he's giving is without self-knowledge, naam. And therefore he petitions, Deh Bimal mati sada sarira. Sahaj sahaj gun rave kabira. Dehe, in the purification of the body and the mind through the cultivation of virtue. Bimal means without vice at one level, but at a more fundamental level, acting without the ego. Sahaj, sahaj gun rave kabira, the process itself is natural. It is not something that calls for subjecting the body to extreme discomfort, as in some other disciplines. So the process is said, sahaj. The end product is sahaj, which is repose, which is the highest state. Gun rave kabira. Kabira, who is small now, is in a state of sahaj, because through sahaj it has cultivated virtue. So forgiveness is the virtue here, because you see, our actions don't always align with the axis of our aspirations, because we act out of aspiration. We want something done, or we wish to achieve something. And so we are committing ourselves to a certain way of being, but we all know that we fall short. And the reason we fall short is because we are childlike, we're immature. So wisdom, the mother here, epitomizes forgiveness, which is needed because of the inherent tension between our actions and its unpredictability. Forgiveness becomes the glue that holds together the whole fabric. Otherwise, it'll just come apart. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.